Hi, it's Gemma Lady, and I'm here to talk to you about the Strider Pawn. I'm not talking about all of their skills. I'm not talking about like a certain build or anything like that. I'm just here to share my experience. People who know me know I like to run through Bitter Black with pawns. Um, some people like to play solo, some people like to play with just their pawn. How you play this game is entirely up to you, because it is, after all, in the end, a single player game. You're supposed to be the hero in your own game. So I just want to talk very briefly about my Strider pawn, Barahir. She's a high damage pawn, and I'm going to just go over her augments and her skills and some of her armor. Alright, so let's talk about her journey first. She was a fighter pawn. She started life as a fighter pawn. And then once she ranked that all the way up, however many levels that was, I transitioned her to a warrior. And she played that pretty much till the end of the game, to level 200. Somewhere in there, but before level 100, she played Strider for 5 ranks. I remember that because, and I backward engineered it as well. Like, plugged in all the numbers to a calculator to figure it all out, that it was pre-level 100 that she played Strider for like 5 ranks. And I also remember the 5 ranks because once she reached level 200 and I wanted her to become a Strider, I had to pick up all of the augments and rank up her Strider augments to get all of them that I needed for her to become a Strider pawn. Alright, so then let's look at her augments and skills. Okay, so you can tell from her HP and stamina that indeed she did play a warrior class, because they get stats to their health, not much in the stamina department. And you can see that she has a lot of strength. Again, not the maximum amount. I didn't min-max her, but she's got a high amount, so she can do a lot of damage if only I built her correctly, meaning that I gave her the right augments coupled with the right skills for me within my game, in my observations. Alright, so let's look at those. We'll circle back around to her skills later. Here are her core skills, and here are her augments. Okay, so she has Eminence, which is gotten from Strider rank 5. When she jumps or vaults first, that's important, she must jump or vault, she gets a plus 30% increase in her strength on her primary, so that's daggers, secondary, that's bow, weapons. Okay, so she gets a primary increase when she jumps or vaults first. 30%. Okay, then Vehemence is gotten from Fighter rank 8. That gives her a 10% increase to the damage that she does. Clout is gotten from Warrior rank 9. That gives her a 20% increase to the damage that she does. These two stack together. And then let's say she jumps or vaults. So plus 30. And then she gets 30 here, so that's 60. And remember, at all times, they can't go over the cap um, of 80, but Striders get some special dispensations when they do certain things in this game. So, um, you know, when they're climbing, they get an increase and so on and so forth. I've given her Opportunism. This is gotten from a BBI Novelty Level 3. It gives her a plus 20% increase to the strength that she does when she's climbing. And again, that again stacks with this. And so you can see how that works. Just pop in your own numbers to get a rough idea of the damage that your Strider Pawn is doing. Um, Now, I've given her proficiency. You don't have to give your pawn this. I've given her this. This has to go. This goes to her damage. Sorry, her daggers, and it's gotten from warrior rank 9. It is a 25% reduction in her stamina consumption. Striders are pretty efficient anyway. This is just sort of um, knocking that home for me. Um, but you don't have to agree with me. Your observations may differ, but that's what I've given her. And I've noted that when we go into a fight, I have used her when I have been, say, a low level um, type Arisen, and the fight therefore becomes long and protracted. And she will walk into the fight with 25 mushrooms, and we might walk out of the fight with her down 1 mushroom, possibly 2, depending on how long and protracted that fight is. Pawns seem to be affected less than the Arisen by things like hard mode and other things that affect our stamina as Arisen. So unfair, but that's my observations. You may agree or disagree. That's entirely up to you. Alright, and then finally I've given her Sinew. Sinew increases her carry weight by 20 kilograms, and so that stacks with her boots. We don't have a quality of life modification here on consoles, so I can't have an infinite carrying capacity on my Arisen, so therefore items I pick up I have to distribute between the pawns that I have, or I can opt to just not pick anything up. You know, again, it's a single player game. It's entirely up to you, you know, how you build your Arisen or pawn and what you find helpful to yourself. I'm not telling anyone what to do or how to play. This is just me talking about my pawn and why she's so good at what she does. Alright, so then let's go in, circle back around. Wait a minute. Go here, gotta go up, otherwise it's gonna take you into everything. Alright, so she has 4 skills. She has 1,000 kisses for when she's climbing and stabbing. She's got a brain splitter for when she jumps and or vaults. First and does brain splitter. She's got rings on that kind of prioritize those skills. That's why they are the way they are. And she's got hailstorm volley, and I've also given her 5-fold flurry. You can give your pawn whatever primary or secondary skills you want. That's entirely up to you. I have these because I found this is what she's most lethal with. She's got some core skills, fill in the blanks, a way to get out of trouble. She's got a way to just do some core skills and such, and also she's got some armor on that helps her when she does use the core skills, so I don't have to give her, say, another core skill. Alright, and so let's look at that. So, she has a Hood of Oblivion. This boosts her strength when she's been noticed by a large number of enemies, which is why I don't give her ferocity. Because this, when we enter the room, it works like, here's the stats. So, boost strength, what does that mean? It means that when you enter the room, if there's one enemy in the room, she gets a 5% boost to her strength, which then translates to the damage she's going to do to that one enemy. She hasn't even done a skill yet, so she hasn't even used one of the ring skills that I've given her. So if there's 2, it's 10%, 3 is 15%, 4 is 20%, 5 is 25%. That's where it caps. So she's got the Hood of Oblivion on. That's why I don't give her ferocity. Okay. You can disagree or agree. It's entirely up to you. Coat of Oblivion gradually restores her health. I find this really important because the dragon roars, pawns go down, you pick them all up, they're at approximately half health, and then this coat immediately starts to kick in and help regenerate the health for the pawn, and then by the end of the fight, let's say, she's back to almost full health, if not at full health. Very, very helpful fix on the armor. Okay, she's got increases maximum item carrying capacity, and this stacks with her boots. Each height and weight class gets a certain amount of how much more they can carry. There's a chart on the wiki, you can go look that up. I can only tell you that I have pawns that are fall in the medium class height and weight, and so she gets pretty good stamina regen based on that and how much she can carry. Is she the tallest? No. Is she the heaviest? No. Obviously, the taller they are, they can carry more. But then there's also other considerations, and there's a chart, and you can look all of that up. I'm not going to walk you through that. I just know that I've created my pawns within a certain height and weight, so their stamina regen is good, and they can carry for me, and they're still nimble on the battlefield without becoming overburdened. Okay, so that is the Strider Pawn. One other thing I'd like to add is that when you are either done creating your Strider Pawn or in the process of creating your Strider Pawn, that it's helpful to train them. What does that entail? You can become a Strider yourself and run your Strider Pawn through areas and so on with blast arrows and oil arrows and the different arrows you want to train them with, and your pawn will learn from you as you go through the area. You can also aid them by hiring another Strider Pawn that has the skills and augments and such that you have, and then that will also aid in training your Strider Pawn, and you can then ask for that person. Doesn't mean they have to reciprocate to train your pawn by them hiring your pawn that's a Strider when they have a Strider, and running the two of them together through different scenarios so that your pawn learns about different enemies throughout Bitter Black or the world of Grancis and so on, and that is those are the three ways that you can train your pawn. This is Gemma Lady, and that is the Strider Pawn. Thanks for watching.